Welcome to the DO Boxing Show. I'm your host, Dameon Okposio, and this is episode number 76. And I was very motivated to put together today's episode from a conversation that I saw on Facebook, and it relates to a great show that's going to be coming up on March the 19th. It's the St. Paddy's Day Punch-Out that's being hosted by the Hamilton Boxing Club and Brodie Boone, who is a trainer and a club owner, businessman, promoter. He does it all. He was in issue of Below the Belt Boxing magazine that was released last year, and it's going to be a great night. Saturday, March 19th, 2016 is the date. It's going to be at Mohawk College. Parking is free. It's going to be a great event, and he always throws great events. And I was really impressed with the creative conversation that was had between Brodie Boone and Doug Horton, and they made a lot of great points. So Doug Horton kind of inquired as to, how he was putting the show together, and it looked very impressive from the outset, and it's not a surprise because Brodie does do a lot of great shows. He trains a lot of fighters, and he's one of those guys that's kind of a pillar in boxing, especially here in Canada. So he's had a lot of guys that are always competing on different shows, not just his own, but other shows. Brodie's always working with other people within the boxing community and always extending himself to help make sure that shows go on. So I want to talk about, number one, his show, which is happening March 19th. It's going to be an event, and it's worth checking out. I know he's almost sold out of tickets for this event, but I'm sure if you go there and they can fit you into some small space in there, and they'll take your money. But you want to check that out. Saturday, March 19th at Mohawk College. There's going to be a lot of fights. He's got quite a few fighters on the card from Hamilton, from that train with him, and there's going to be entertainment. He has live bands, usually ring card girls, and it's better than a lot of pro shows that you'll see out there, and in terms of the quality of the production, but also in terms of quality of the fights. Amateur fights, if you're a fight fan, you should be checking them out, especially in the Ontario area. We have a lot of great amateur fighters. But also, one of the things, or a couple of things I want to touch on from that conversation was, Doug was asking, well, how do you put together a great show? And Brodie made a lot of great points in terms of, people are putting together fighters list, and they're only submitting a few names. It makes the pool of fighters to be able to draw from very small, because as everyone knows that's promoted boxing, is that a lot of fighters happen to drop out as time goes on, just because of injuries and different things that can happen leading up in terms of in training and in sparring. It's an intense sport, so people can get sick. There's unexpected things that happen, so you need to always start from a very large list, and for a lot of gyms out there, maybe go and they've got to maybe recruit more people into their gym so they have a bigger base of fighters that can be competitive. And one of the other points too was the location that you have it in. So there's an old adage and an old saying that it takes money to make money, and I believe in that saying, and I also believe that you have to invest in yourself. I just recently took a course on budgeting and spent, a couple $100 on that to just improve my skills in terms of creating a proper budget, setting up a proper budget. And I've done lots of budgets in the past, but I wanted to increase my skills, and it's always worth the investment when you invest in yourself. So it takes money, and you don't have to necessarily spend a great deal of it. There's always ways that you can try and get great deals and work with people and make things happen in terms of advertising. But I know with Brodie, he does spend the money in terms of getting posters done. He does a lot of different posters for one event. He makes sure that his guys get a lot of coverage. I've seen advertisements for his fights on the transit buses that are out there. So you got to be creative and use some of these ideas. When you see them and the idea works, use it. Contact TJ Towns, Boxer in a Box. She'll be able to help you get banners done. This is something that I've often believed in and I've done for a long time. You've got to spend the money and get the recognition out there, and it'll come back to you. When you're doing these events and stuff like that, like it comes back to you. And one of the last points that I'll touch on is that you need time to set up an event, and you need time to plan out. For me, when I think about different difficulties that I've had in terms of promoting, it's always come when I've done something at the last minute. And when you give yourself enough time to properly plan something out and not just necessarily have a boxing show to have a boxing show because you haven't had one in a long time, but you give yourself actually, months of preparation. You don't put your show at the same time as someone else. You talk to people and find out where's the best place to slot your show. Doesn't mean that you can't have a show, back to back with someone else, but, planning is, well, again, I'm going to go back to one of those sayings, not all sayings hold true, but, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail is one of those sayings that I think does hold some water. I wanted to get those points out there, and hopefully that even if this video helps one person in terms of changing how they do things or maybe helping them improve events, then that's great. That's the whole purpose of the DO Boxing Show and me putting these videos out there. And secondly, if you have time and you're in the area and you want to check out how show's done, come out March 19th to Mohawk College to check out the St. Patty's Day Punch Out, and I think it's going to be a great event. I'm going to be there. I'll see you there. Don't be shy to come up to me, and chat. So I want to thank you for the support. I want to thank you for watching the show. And if you can make it out, make it out. It's $20 in advance, $30 at the door for the March 19th amateur boxing show. I guarantee that it's going to be exciting. You're going to have some exciting bouts because I know a lot of the local amateurs and they come to fight. And don't forget that you can ask us any questions, whether you want us to elaborate on something that we've talked about or cover new ground in boxing. Send us a message through Twitter at DOKPOSIO or through email, okposio@hotmail.com. Check out our contest, episode number 37. And that's going to be wrapping up in a couple weeks. And we want to thank you again. And we'll see you in the next episode.